What's going on, you guys? Welcome to Beyond the Biomarkers. Fire it up. What's up, y'all? I'm your host, Carrie Rochelle, Doctor of Integrative Medicine candidate, registered dietitian, functional medicine practitioner, expert witness, and yoga teacher with a gift of psychic medical intuition. I've dedicated my career to uncovering the root causes of symptoms and diseases, pushing beyond conventional pathways to health. In each episode, we dive into the hard data of health metrics and pair it with the subtle whispers of your soul. This podcast is your toolkit for transforming health and embracing happiness. Together, we explore rigorous medical research, decode the messages our bodies send us, and dive into our emotional landscapes. We're connecting the dots between nutrition, environment, and emotional health, blending scientific facts with intuitive wisdom to empower you with the knowledge to live your best life. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Biomarkers. I'm your host, Carrie Rochelle, ready to dive into a topic that's stirring up quite a buzz in the world of nutrition and dairy consumption, A2 dairy. Today, we're unraveling the secrets behind A2 milk, a type of milk that might just change the way you think about dairy. Originating from certain breeds of cows that have been around since ancient times, A2 milk has a unique protein makeup that sets it apart from the more common A1 milk found in many of our refrigerators. In this episode, we'll explore what exactly A2 milk is, its fascinating history, and why it might be a better choice for those who struggle with regular dairy products. And yes, for all you dairy lovers and health enthusiasts out there, we'll also dive into the creamy debate of full-fat versus low-fat dairy. What's really better for you? Let's dive right into the fascinating world of A2 milk, which many believe to be closer to the original type of milk our ancestors consumed. A2 milk is distinguished by its specific type of beta-casein, one of the main proteins in cow's milk. There are two main types of beta-casein. There's A1 and there's A2. The difference between them comes down to just one amino acid at the position 67 in their protein chain. In A2 milk, this amino acid on the 67th chain there is called proline, whereas A1 milk, it's called histidine. And this small genetic difference traces back to a mutation thought to have occurred several thousand years ago as cattle were starting to be domesticated. Interestingly, this A1 mutation is absent in milk from other mammals like goats, sheep, camels, where A2 beta-casein is the norm. This brings us to why A2 milk might be better suited for human consumption. The interest in A2 milk's health potentials has grown significantly, especially for those who have discomfort with regular cow's milk. The key issue involves a peptide called BCM, which is released during the digestion of A1 milk. BCM stands for beta-casein 7. You don't need to know that. There's no quiz. But it's a peptide derived from the digestion of the A1 type of beta-casein found in cow's milk. This BCM-7 is classified as an opioid peptide because it can interact with opioid receptors in the body, influencing various physiological processes such as digestion, inflammation, and immune responses. Research on BCM7 has noted its potential effects on gut motility and inflammation, though confirming these effects in humans requires more robust research, as the current research is in animal studies. Observational studies and some small human trials have suggested that consuming A2 milk may reduce symptoms associated with lactose intolerance and inflammatory responses. BCM7 can influence various physiological processes primarily through its interaction with these opioid receptors in the body. Here's how it potentially affects digestion, inflammation, and immune responses. Let's first start with digestion. BCM7, that inflammatory protein, can impact gut motility, which refers to the movements of the digestive system that propel and mix food. By binding to opioid receptors in the gut, BCM7 can slow down these movements, potentially leading to issues like slower digestion or constipation. This slower motility might also affect how nutrients and other substances are absorbed, possibly exacerbating symptoms even of food sensitivity or food intolerances. Let's talk about how it affects inflammation. Opioid peptides like BCM7 can modulate the body's inflammatory response. While the exact mechanisms are not fully understood, it's thought that BCM7 may increase inflammation in certain contexts, and this can be particularly relevant in conditions like inflammatory bowel disease or other inflammatory conditions of the gut. And lastly, immune responses. BCM7's interaction with opioid receptors might influence the immune system. Opioid receptors are found on various immune cells, and their activation can alter the release of cytokines, and those are proteins that are important for cell signaling during immune responses. This can affect how the body responds to infections, allergens, or other immune triggers. The impact of the BCM7 on these systems can be really detrimental. However, it can vary widely among individuals, depending largely on individual differences in digestive enzyme activity, gut health, and overall physiology. Now get this. The BCM7 peptide is not released when digesting A2 milk, which may explain why some people find A2 milk easier on their stomach. So let's go back to the 67th chain on the protein, right? So the A1 milk is a histidine. So when our bodies attack that histidine and break that down, the BCM7 peptide is released into the body and is inflammatory. But in the A2 milk, 67th chain of the protein, we've got the amino acid proline, which means our body breaks that down differently such that the BCM7 underneath is also broken down, and so it is not released when we're digesting A2 milk. Now let's get into A2 dairy in the market. As A2 milk gains traction among health-conscious consumers, I'd like to explore its journey in the market, from innovative branding strategies to legal controversies and consumer choices. The ascent of A2 milk in the marketplace is largely credited to the A2 Milk Company. It was founded in New Zealand in the year 2000, and this company recognized the potential benefits of A2 milk and patented a genetic test to identify cows that naturally produce A2 beta-casein. This breakthrough allowed them to market A2 milk as a healthier alternative to regular milk, targeting those who suffer from milk-related digestive discomfort. However, the path wasn't without any obstacles. The A2 Milk Company faced significant legal battles, most notably a high-profile lawsuit in 2002 against a major New Zealand milk cooperative. They accused the cooperative of suppressing information about the potential health risks associated with A1 milk. Furthermore, they petitioned regulatory bodies like Food Standards Australia, New Zealand to require health warnings on A1 milk, a move that stirred public and industry debate. Today, A2 milk is available in many parts of the world, including Australia, New Zealand, and guess what? The US, also parts of Europe and Asia. Its availability in mainstream supermarkets and health food stores speaks volumes about its growing acceptance. When it comes to consumer decision-making, pricing plays a crucial role, right? A2 milk often comes at a premium price compared to regular milk due to the specialized production process and genetic testing of cows. Consumers weigh this against the potential health benefits they experience, which include fewer digestive issues and general feeling of better health, less inflammation, better immunity. You get it. The choice to switch to A2 milk often involves personal health considerations and a comparison of the cost versus the perceived benefits. Many are willing to pay a little extra for a product that aligns better with their dietary needs and lifestyle choices. As we wrap up this segment, it's clear that A2 milk has carved a niche for itself in a crowded dairy market. If you remember one thing from this podcast, it's this. A2 milk comes from specific breeds of cows like Guernsey, Jersey, Icelandic, and brown Swiss cows, which are genetically predisposed to produce milk containing A2 types of beta-casein protein. So if you have a local dairy market in town, I would make sure that they have one of those types of cows because the body digests, again, that 67th amino acid on the beta-casein protein chain differently in the A2 milk and does not release the inflammatory peptide BCM7. In A1 milk, it can lead to inflammation and other health issues. I hope I've driven this point home. But moving on to the most common question I get about dairy is full fat versus low fat dairy. It's a debate fueled by varying nutritional beliefs and health claims. Let's break down the differences and what they mean for your health. Full fat and low fat dairy products primarily differ in their fat content, but this change impacts more than just the calories. Full fat dairy naturally contains more of the fat-soluble vitamins, which are vitamins A, D, E, and K. These nutrients are essential for various bodily functions, including vision, bone health, blood clotting, and antioxidant activities. Low-fat dairy, on the other hand, often has these vitamins added back after processing. However, the natural synergy of nutrients in the full-fat dairy typically makes them more bioavailable, meaning your body can absorb them and use them more easily. The fat in dairy can affect digestion and the absorption of these vitamins. Fat slows the digestive process, which can be beneficial for blood sugar control, making you feel fuller longer. However, it's important to note that dairy fat can also carry toxins, as toxins are often stored in fatty tissues. Which brings us to an important point. The quality of dairy you consume matters immensely. Full-fat milk can be beneficial if it's high quality, organic, especially if it's A2 milk, and these options are less likely to contain harmful additives and more likely to provide the benefits of their natural fat content. There's a widespread belief that low-fat dairy is always the healthier choice. This isn't necessarily true, especially for those who aren't actively trying to manage their calorie intake. So yes, for weight loss, I wouldn't include it at all in the diet for at least 30 days. And then I'd recommend only non-fat or low-fat dairy products due to their much lower calorie content. While full-fat dairy products provides a sense of satiety that can help prevent overeating, I'd never recommend drinking your calories anyway, especially in weight loss mode. Well, okay, the exception is for meal replacement shakes for a very low-calorie diet when it's necessary to lose weight quickly. And yes, there is a time and place for this, and we can discuss it another day. But back to the topic. Choosing between full-fat and low-fat dairy should be based on your personal health needs and preferences. If you're not trying to lose weight and are looking for a product that could enhance the absorption of vitamins, then high-quality organic full-fat dairy, especially A2 dairy, might be right for you. However, if calorie control is crucial for your health goals, then low-fat dairy is the viable option. Another common myth is that dairy fat contributes to heart disease. However, recent research shows the relationship between dietary fat, dietary cholesterol, and heart health is not straightforward. It's important to understand that not all cholesterol is harmful. Our bodies need it for vital functions. Dietary cholesterol, which is found in animal fat, so that includes dairy fat, has a minimal impact on the cholesterol that clogs arteries, which is more influenced by sugars that raise harmful, small, dense LDL particles. Did you hear me? I'll say it again, more clearly. There are two distinct types of LDL, but the lab test that our doctors run gives us the total LDL. However, one type of LDL is cardiovascularly neutral. That's the one that's influenced by dietary fat. And the other one is the one that severely increases your risk of heart disease. Those are called small, dense lipoproteins. That one is the one that's influenced by sugars and processed foods. So our lab test that doctors run, like I said, gives us the total LDL. It combines both of those together. So you wouldn't know if you actually have an increased risk for heart disease if your total LDL is high. Make sense? Because you don't know which LDL is making it high. I have an entire program called the Lower Cholesterol Code that teaches this in detail. Reach out to me, Carrie@carrierochelle.com, to get exclusive access. Make sure to check out the information in the show notes. All of that is to say, high-quality organic A2 dairy can therefore be a part of a healthy diet without increasing the risk of heart disease. This understanding challenges outdated notions and highlights the need for a nuanced view of dietary fats and their effects on our health. Always prioritize quality, as the benefits of any dairy product are closely tied to how it's produced and processed. For those sensitive to lactose or dairy fats, A2 milk, whether full fat or low fat, could offer a digestible alternative. As we wrap up today's exploration of A2 dairy, let's revisit the key points we've discussed. A2 milk differs from the more common A1 milk due to one single amino acid variation in the beta-casein protein. On the 67th protein, to be exact. I've said it enough, you're going to be able to tell somebody else. It's a proline versus a histidine. The compound underneath that is inflammatory, BCM-7. The way our bodies break down the proline and the A2 variation also involves breaking down the compound underneath, so the inflammatory compound does not release into the body. But the way the body breaks the histidine down releases the entire inflammatory compound into the body, causing problems like difficulty with digestion, more likely to cause discomfort, increased inflammation, decreased immunity. Yeah. A2 milk is found from A2 cows, which are Guernsey, Jersey, Icelandic, and brown Swiss cows. We've also broken down the nuances of full-fat versus low-fat dairy, debunking myths around dairy fats and heart disease, and highlighting the importance of understanding the types of cholesterol and their impacts on health. If you're someone who experiences discomfort with regular milk, or if you're just curious about the potential health benefits, I encourage you to give A2 milk a try. It could be a game changer in terms of how you enjoy dairy. As we close today's exploration into A2 dairy, I hope you've gained valuable insights into how something as simple as the type of milk you choose can impact your digestion and inflammation. Remember, the best choices for your health are often the most informed ones. So I encourage you to consider what we've discussed today as you make your next dairy choice. Looking ahead, I invite you to join me next week for a special episode on a topic that's close to my heart: empowering yourself, taking control of your own health. I'll be empowering you to take control of your own health by listening to your bodies, recognizing symptoms as messages, and discovering how our thoughts and emotions not only influence our physical health, but can also be powerful tools for healing. Until then, keep exploring, stay curious, and as always, stay tuned to Beyond the Biomarkers.